If I told you I had a botanical compound, like one that binds to the exact same brain receptors as prescription anti-anxiety meds, you would probably ask for a prescription.
Yeah.
But you actually just need to open your tea cabinet.
Yeah, it is true. We tend to look at chamomile as this comforting, mild bedtime ritual, not exactly something you expect to find scrutinized in rigorous medical journals.
Right, but looking through this stack of clinical trials, it turns out that unassuming little flower is a highly complex botanical powerhouse. Today's mission for this deep dive is to separate the folklore from the hard science. Okay, let's unpack this. Is there real medicine in the mug?
Well, before we look for the medicine, we have to clarify what is actually in the mug because, chamomile isn't just one plant. We're usually talking about two completely different species.
Yeah, I saw that in the botanical data. You've got German chamomile, Matricaria racuta, and Roman chamomile. Are we talking drastically different plants here, like a house cat versus a tiger?
I mean, maybe closer to a greyhound versus a bulldog. They're related, but bred for totally different jobs.
Okay, how so?
Well, Roman chamomile grows low to the ground and produces these highly volatile compounds called esters. And because esters vaporize easily, they hit your olfactory system fast.
So they smell stronger.
Exactly. Which is why Roman is heavily favored for aromatherapy and skin oils.
Got it. So Roman is for smelling, which means the German chamomile, the tall one packed with a compound called Chamomile, is the one I am actually drinking.
Precisely. Chamomile has specific anti-inflammatory properties when ingested, making German chamomile the go-to for digestion and sleep teas.
Right. Let's test that sleep claim, because the clinical data offers a pretty massive reality check.
It really does. The key player here is a flavonoid called apigenin. Apigenin physically binds to GABA receptors in your brain.
Wait, GABA receptors, that is the exact same pathway targeted by anti-anxiety drugs, right?
Exactly. It calms the central nervous system.
Hmm.
But researchers recently gathered all the sleep data on this for a massive 2024 review, and the results were surprisingly split.
Yeah, the review showed it significantly improves how fast you fall asleep and stops you from waking up as much in the middle of the night.
Right, but it does not actually increase your total sleep time or make you function any better the next day.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it initiates relaxation beautifully, but it just lacks the heavy sedative punch to keep you under.
So it is like a bouncer letting you into the sleep club faster, but it won't actually extend the club's operating hours.
That is the perfect way to look at it. It gets you through the door, but it doesn't guarantee a longer party.
But if it's only partial fix for sleep, I really don't understand the medical hype. Why are researchers spending so much time on a flower that just gets you to sleep a little quicker?
Because that calming effect isn't just happening in the brain. The true power of this plant is how it behaves in your gut and on your skin.
You mean like that recent 8-week clinical trial involving patients with type 2 diabetes?
Yes. Drinking 3 cups of supermarket tea a day actually moved the needle on clinical insulin resistance
Wait, 3 cups a day? How is a flower doing that?
by tackling inflammation at the cellular level. The study showed those 3 cups significantly reduced patients' HbA1c, which is basically a measure of long-term blood sugar levels.
Wow.
Yeah, the phytochemicals in the tea actively reduce the oxidative stress that makes cells insulin resistant in the first place.
So it's essentially cooling down an inflamed metabolic system.
Right, and we see that exact same cooling mechanism working topically.
Oh, interesting.
When applied to the skin, chamomile compounds like alpha-bisabolol act almost like a microscopic fire extinguisher.
A fire extinguisher for your skin cells.
Yeah, they actively suppress the enzymes that cause inflammation.
Ah.
That is why it's so effective at calming eczema and triggering collagen to heal wounds faster.
Okay, reducing long-term blood sugar and putting out fires on skin cells is genuinely impressive, but it also makes me nervous.
Nervous how?
Well, there is this massive assumption that if something is a natural flower, you can consume gallons of it safely.
Oh, absolutely, which is a very dangerous assumption. Natural does not mean harmless. Because this plant is chemically active, you really have to treat it with the same respect you'd give a pharmacy drug.
Like with blood thinners, right?
Yes. If you are taking a blood thinner like warfarin, washing it down with chamomile can actually amplify the drug's effect.
And since it's a relative of the daisy, I imagine allergy cross-reactivity is a real issue.
Very much so. If you have severe allergies to ragweed or marigolds, chamomile can trigger serious reactions.
Good to know.
It also carries specific risks for pregnant women. And, much like honey, the tea can harbor botulism spores, making it incredibly dangerous for infants.
Wow, it's a serious reminder that we are dealing with potent chemistry here, which leaves you with a final thought to mull over for this deep dive.
Was that?
If a humble little daisy relative has enough chemical complexity to act on your GABA receptors and significantly impact your insulin resistance, what other simple pantry staples are secretly pharmacological gold mines just waiting to be understood?
It really makes you wonder.
It does. Next time you look at that mug of mild bedtime tea, remember you're brewing some serious science.